Hello, good morning. I think I'm a minute late. I'm gonna wait just a second to see if there is anybody on the internet right now. I'm gonna do a live brow tutorial with you with our new brow defining boost, and be available if you have any questions or concerns, or you need help color matching. There's a hair on my forehead. Give me a moment. It looks like a wrinkle and I can't have that. There we go. So if you are watching this live, I want you to comment live. And if you're catching me on the replay, if you could hashtag replay. So, I am going to start today. I've got all my makeup done. I always do my makeup and end with brows. So, we have 4 shades of brow defining boost. We have a light, medium, a dark, and a black. And as a redhead, I do light some days, I do medium some days, and honestly, some days I can even do dark. I've done black one time when my roots were kind of showing before I had my hair done, and it looked pretty good. As long as you, hey Danelle, as long as you wipe off all of the extra, you're not gonna have those like really thick, like Groucho Marx looking things going on. So the first thing I do, so this is my naked brow. The first thing that I do is I have this little brush from Sephora. It is brush number 208, if that means anything to you. It has an angled brush on one side for filling in, and then it has a spoolie brush on the other. These are all spoolie brushes inside of here, but they have product on them. So what I do first is brush my brows, and this gets, since I already put on like my makeup, I might have gotten a little bit of like foundation in my brows, plus it just helps to kind of get them all brushed up. So I brush them straight up, but my brows aren't really that long or unruly. They lay down pretty good. So if you brush them up and yours are like crazy, then also brush them sideways. So this is just to make sure that you separate all of the hairs and you kind of get your brows looking like the shape that you want. So like on this side, my brow has a tendency to see how it kind of goes up and out. I usually brush it up and out, but then I also just very lightly kind of pull this corner down and see how that just kind of did that. So I pull it back down to make sure it's kind of the shape that I want it before I add my brow defining boost. So that step 1 is pretty important. Then you're going to choose your shade, and I am going to do medium. It's generally the one that I use most days. I've been using brow defining boost for a little bit over a month, and my brows used to be, you probably saw in my before and afters, was it yesterday or the day before? They used to be a lot more red. They had a lot more warmth in them. And since using brow defining boost, my naked brows now are thicker and fuller, but they've also changed color a bit. They are a little more ashy, a little more brown than red. So the shade that you choose should match your brows and kind of give you the look of a natural brow, or if you like it to be like a more defined brow, then you could go a shade darker. But if you choose a super dark shade, like I did, I was using dark for a couple of days, that's when I noticed that my naked brow really started to change color. So if you're a redhead and you're like, I want to keep my brows red, like my friend and consultant Emily, she's using light because she doesn't want it to change the color of her brow. She wants it just to fill it in and help them grow. So we can chat about that one-on-one if you'd like. So if you want to message me or just comment here, we can kind of chat about your brows and see what's best for you. So when you're ready, you're just going to open this up and you're going to notice it's a spoolie brush. Where's my camera? There we go. It's not. Anyway. But if you use this like this, you're going to have way too much product. So I actually go in here and I wipe off and spin it around. I wipe off nearly everything. So you want to get it all. Ooh, get that little piece down in there. You want to take all that extra off. And this one swipe could do your whole brow and your other brow. So one swipe is all it takes. So I'm just going to set this down. Now, you're going to come in here, and this is kind of hard to do while I'm going to see if I can scoot over and look in the mirror. Yes, okay. You're just going to very lightly, you're not going to push into your skin. You're barely going to touch your brow. So just barely. This has cellulose fibers in it. So what it does is it grabs your hair and it's going to, Ryan McKitterick, you just distracted me. Stop it. It grabs each of those little hairs and makes them look thicker and longer. So you don't want to like press in and pull, or you're going to get these brows that are looking really, really thick and clownish. So I'm barely touching, and I just like to go up here. So it's a little bit, look how natural that is. Like, I haven't done anything. It doesn't have that like, you know, fake kind of brow look. If you get any on your skin that you don't want, you can wipe it away with your finger before it dries. And then when I get to the tail of this where it's skinnier, this is kind of pointed here. So you can come in here and just use the tip of that to fill it in. And on this part, I do press into my skin a little more. Since I'm using the tip of it, I'm not actually using like any of the brushing motion. And there. So if I stopped there, that would work. So I'm gonna show you some other stuff too, but I'm not gonna dip this back in. I'm gonna show you how much product is on this, and I'm gonna do my other brow. So just straight up. Now we can talk about what to do if your brows are really long and when you brush straight up if it looks crazy, but I'm gonna brush up, move my hair out of here, use the tip on the edge, and pull down. And I'm really not being that precise. Like, I'm kind of all over, and it's doing a pretty good job of getting where I want it. Okay, let me go back in here a little bit. Okay, so I could be done right now. They look great, right? And because I have Brow Boost on every day that I wear this, my brows are getting thicker and longer. It's got that Lash Boost technology in it, which is biotin and keratin, which is what your hair naturally produces to grow thick and healthy in your nails and your skin. So it has biotin and keratin in it, so it nourishes your eyebrows and helps them to grow out, but it also has, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart, castor oil. Castor oil is something that they've been using for hair growth for a very long time. So that all of those ingredients together help to, over time, make your brows look thicker and darker and longer. So here we could stop, or I could go back in with my spoolie brush. So if your brows are a little bit like you've done it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's kind of crazy, you could go back in with your spoolie brush. It's not going to come off because this stuff is amazing. It is waterproof. I shouldn't say waterproof, I should say water resistant. So if you don't like that, you know, there's different looks for different brows. So some people like this look here with like the, you know, the kind of more fuzzy natural look there. And so if you wanted to keep it like that, perfect. If you don't like that, you just take your little spoolie brush and you brush them back this way, and then they can be like that. So this stuff is really versatile and movable. So it's not like your brow is like gelled, like, you know, you put a bunch of hairspray on and it doesn't move. Your brow can, if you can move all of your hairs around. They're not like glued in place, but it will stay on all day. It's not quite dry yet, so I'm not going to run my finger through it at the moment. I will in a minute. But if you run your finger through this, it doesn't come off on your skin. The only way to get this off is to use like a makeup wipe at the end of the day. So if you like a more full and more defined brow, then on the other side of this brush is an angled bit. And so this is what I used to use to do my brows before Brow Boost. I used this angled brush, I dipped it into eyeshadow, and I just wiped it through my brows. And it took me like 15 minutes to get everything looking right. That is way too much. So here's what you can do. When you wiped all of that extra off on the outside edge, if you just take your angled brush and you pick that up, or even run it through, let's see if I can get in here, run it through your spoolie and pick some of that up. Just pick some of that product up. I'm gonna get really close. So see, oop, we're fuzzy. See how this is, like, I like the way that looks, but if you like a more like super defined brow, you can just take this and pull through like that. And see how that fills that in? Turning it this way. Try not to make dorky faces, you know, when you do your makeup and you got. So if you wanted to fill in, I'm going to pick up a little more on my brush. Maybe I want to fill in this to make my arch look a little smoother. Maybe I want to fill in here to thicken this. So it takes very little product. Might even grab some and see that little spot right there? That's the spot I'm working to grow in. tap some in there. Let me pick up extra. There. So see how the difference between these brows, see how this one's a lot more defined? All that took was this angled brush and just dipping it into this. So you shouldn't need to use multiple products. So whatever brow product that you've been using, if you've been using anything, you shouldn't need to use it anymore because you can use Brow Boost instead to do that. So there is a, you know, more natural brow, just a couple of swipes that took me like less than a minute, or going in with a brush and kind of making it a little more defined. So really, really simple product to use. One tube of this, now I've only had mine for 1 month, so I am saying this based off of their trials that it lasts 2 months. But I'm guessing 3 because I've barely used anything. As long as you don't open this and like pump it like this, you'll pump a bunch of air in there and dry it out. As long as when you open it, you just wipe it off and then gently put it back in, this should last you at least 3 months. I'm pretty sure. Now I will come back to that once I've gone through a tube and run out and let you know. Could be longer, might be less, but it's supposed to last 2 months. My guess is 3. Like everything else with Rodan and Fields, they say 2 months and I always get 3 out of it anyway. My lash boost, my face regimen, everything. So, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Danelle, I can't wait for Saturday either. I just burped, excuse me. To do your brows and to do Amy's brows and anybody else that's coming. So on Saturday, I have my 4 tubes that I use, but I also bought little spoolie brushes that are disposable. So you'll each have your own, so we're not, you know, mixing germs or anything like that. And I will color match you. We'll figure out what matches the best. We'll do your brows. We'll take a before and after picture, and we'll have some mimosas. So should be a really simple, quick event for you to come and learn a little bit more about your brows. If you have any questions between now and Saturday, feel free to just make a message. You could drop a message here, or you could even send me a message privately, or you could just drop a post on this event because other people might have the same question as you. I think that's it. Anything I'm missing? Any questions before I hop off of here? Danelle, to check my messages and see what time I'm going to come see you today. Hopefully right now, because I'm ready. Oh, wait, just a second. Actually, while I wait, I'm going to fix my other brow because now I have one brow that's all defined and one brow that's kind of natural. So if you think of any questions, let me know. Give me a minute. This is really hard. I'm going to look in the mirror. This brow has a little more sparseness right there. That's a little better. See that little spot? A little empty spot? You don't want to overdo it, but boop. One more. Boop. Okay, I didn't get enough. There. Now no one knows. There. Now they match, right? Yep, they match. Okay. Alrighty, folks. So I'm going to hop off of here. And if you have any questions at all, let me know.